everyone, and welcome back to the F2 show with Inside F2. Not long now until the season starts. It's just around the corner, and we've been very fortunate enough to be joined by Jack Crawford on today's podcast. Jack, how are you, and how's the off-season been?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Off-season was good. It actually wasn't very long. I think our break from Monza to Abu Dhabi last year was longer than this off-season, since we had the shakedown test so early and as well the Bahrain test so early. So, but it was good to cool off and get some time off. I went snowboarding in Colorado and just spent some time at home with my family. So it was great to kind of switch off from racing for about three weeks or so.
Yeah, good, nice. And heading into your second season, then, how are you feeling? Do you feel like coming into your second season, you have a little bit more confidence and you're more prepared for a Formula 2 season?
Yeah, for sure. I feel so much more confident. I think coming back to Bahrain, it's the first place we come back to since, everything I experienced as a rookie. So coming back, it's like, whoa, I know so much more than I did last year. And, it's a huge step in performance as well. So you learn a lot with just having more experience, and as well, it gives you more confidence, especially, you end the year doing well, and then, you start the new year well. So,
and a strong team as well. Dams, talk to us about that.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be with Dams. They've done a great job preparing us for this year, and it's really exciting. We obviously have the new car this year, so it puts a lot of pressure on the engineers, but they're doing a really great job so far, and we're trying to learn as much as possible in the limited testing we have. So
definitely. And I've got to say, one of my favorite liveries on the grid. That livery looks very good on the new car, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It looks amazing. For sure the best livery on the grid.
Yeah, nice. Love it. Your teammate this year, JM Correa, a very strong teammate. How do you head into the season knowing that you've got a strong teammate? And what's the relationship like there?
Yeah, it's really good. Obviously, the all-American lineup, so that's quite cool. That's not something you see in European motorsports every day. But no, it's really nice to have him as a teammate. Obviously, he has a lot of experience in the past. He's a bit older than me, and he has really good experience. He's seen a lot. He's been through a lot. He's raced a lot of things. So it's really good to have him as a teammate and hear his input and everything. And it just helps drive the team forward a bit as well.
I guess as well, obviously going into Formula 2 last year with Isaac as well, who was a rookie, there was no one that had that experience in a Formula 2 car. So is it nice this year knowing that JM does have that experience and you have that experience as well? Maybe you can learn a bit off each other.
Yeah, it's quite cool actually, because last year me and Isaac were completely unknown, just using data from the past and just using what we had from F3, basically our experience in F3, and now me and Juan we've been in two different teams in F2, and we're taking all the experience from his team at VAR and my team at High Tech, everything we learned, and sort of putting it into one. And it's actually quite cool how we can do that, and it's quite nice to have someone with experience as well.
Definitely. Talk to me about the new car then. How are you preparing for the new car? And obviously you've tested it as well at Barcelona. How was that?
Yeah, we haven't done a lot of testing. We missed half a day per driver at Barcelona for the shakedown, and then as well in Bahrain we had a session canceled and a session in the wet. So in total we got 2.5 days of dry running. And, a lot of that is as well doing a bunch of aero tests and all kinds of tests, and stuff like that during it to get all kinds of data from the new car. So there actually hasn't been much driving. So I feel lucky to not be a rookie. That's for sure. I've heard a lot of different things, but from my side, the car doesn't feel, there's not a big difference between last year's car and this car in terms of feeling, especially since the tires are the same. So yeah, it's just about getting used to the minor changes. Obviously the aero package is a lot different. So get used to that, and otherwise it was feeling quite similar last year.
You talk about those minor things. What are those minor things? Is it yeah? Have you got more downforce in the higher corners? What high speed corners? What are the minor differences?
Yeah, it just feels like it has a bit more downforce. There's a lot other things as well. The chassis is a bit different, and I think the weight is, there's a small difference in weight, if any, and it's just when you drive for the first time, you can tell it's not the same as the last year's, but then as you can start to continue driving, it gets more and more similar. So it's also, I think it also comes down to, the teams have a bit of an unknown on the setup so far, because, it's a new car. I'm sure as the car develops over the years, it'll just get quicker and quicker as teams get better knowledge as well.
Yeah, definitely. Love that. Back end of last season, obviously, it was announced that you were departing from Red Bull. Talk to us a little bit about that. Obviously, we'll talk about Aston Martin in a minute, but with the Red Bull departure, was that your decision to part ways with Red Bull?
Yeah, it was. It came time in my career where, now 2024 is such a crucial year for me. My second year in F2, I have a big opportunity to do well and make a step up into Formula One or some job in Formula One. So, it's a big year for me, and in my opinion, Red Bull was not the best place for me, and I think it was even almost mutually agreed that Red Bull weren't too happy with me, and as well we weren't too happy with them. So it was a bit of a mix, and in the end I found a good place for me at Aston Martin. So.
Yeah, talk to me about Aston Martin. And how did that opportunity come about? Did you approach them? Did they approach you? Talk to me about how that process played out.
I actually don't remember who approached you. I just remember my manager coming to me and telling me we had to meet them. But it happened. It was already in the works quite at the end of last year. I believe it was as early as October or November. So it's been in the works for a long time, and it finally got announced, just a week or so ago. But it's been known for a long time for me, and it's been something I've been looking forward to for this year, and it gives me a great opportunity to learn and be on the sim, and as well I get to drive the AMR 22 at some point, so it's quite cool.
With Aston Martin, what do you want to learn from this year, working with them? Obviously, as you say, doing a bit of sim work. What do you want to get out of this year from Aston Martin? Yeah,
I just hope to gain experience, especially in sort of the F1 machinery, working with the F1 engineers and stuff like that. I think it's a really good opportunity because I'm in the sim a lot. I'm learning the characteristics of their car, putting in a lot of hard work on the sim and just learning a bunch. And, as well, I have the opportunity to drive the car, like I said. So, again, more experience gained. And I think this year I just look to gain as much experience and knowledge as possible with them, and, hope to apply it, to my F2 season, and especially hope it pays off in the future with.
And I guess mentors don't come much better than a certain Fernando Alonso. How much will you speak to him? And I guess that'll be someone that you can learn an awful lot from, right?
Yeah, I would hope so. I know he also has some drivers in F2, two drivers, I think, Bortolazzo and Pepe Marti. So I don't know how much advice he wants to give me, but I'll try to not act like I'm an F2, and maybe he'll tell me something. But no, it'll be cool. I have the opportunity to get to go to some of the races with Aston Martin this year, away from F2, and where I spend weekends with the team, and it'll be cool to just listen to feedback and hear what they have to say. I don't know if the drivers will talk to me or not. Who knows? But hey, I'm open to anything.
And do you think an FP1 will be on the cards at some point, and maybe if not this season, next season? Do you think that's on the cards?
I would hope so. I'm not sure yet. I don't think for this season there will be any, but hopefully for the future.
Good stuff. Okay. Let's talk about Formula 2 again then. We're going to Qatar for the first time this season. How much are you looking forward to that? And I guess as well, that's going to be the race that everyone's training for, right? Because that's going to be physically really tough, right?
Yeah, we all watched the F1 race last year and saw how tough that was. And, we saw it on the calendar. And, there's actually points with, no power steering, which will be quite tough for us. We have a long ways, obviously, to go into that race, but it's going to be hot and it's going to be, physical as well with all the high-speed corners. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, never driven there. Really looking forward to driving there.
What one race are you looking forward to the most this season? What's the standout race on the calendar? There's a few decent ones, aren't there?
Yeah, there's a few. I'll name a few. Obviously, Monaco's a really, one everyone looks forward to drive. I thought as well Melbourne was really cool last year. As long as it's not raining. I think the car park was a disaster last year with muds, but that was a really cool event and a cool track.
Have you driven Imola before?
Yeah, Imola as well. It's been my favorite track growing up, but obviously we didn't get the race there last year. I was actually there for about one night, and then they canceled the race, so that was fun. But yeah, I really hope to go back to Imola as well. But I'm looking forward to every race. I mean, there's so many good races on the calendar. They're all great.
Were you a bit gutted that Zandvoort was axed from the calendar, or?
Yeah, especially since they announced the calendar right after I got my pole, so I was really at Zandvoort. So I was really upset that they took the one track where I was on pole off the calendar. But
I bet High Tech are fuming. Obviously, pole position, a race winning with Isaac as well, and then gone from the calendar. So
it sucks for sure. But Qatar as well. I think it comes down to Zandvoort is such a small track. It's the pit lane's barely wide enough, the paddock's barely wide enough. So I understand if that's why they did it, but if it's because they just didn't want to go there, then that would be sad.
That's fair enough, mate. Let's ask you some less serious questions now. Then, have you got a pre-race song that you listen to that gets you in the zone?
Not a specific song, but I like to listen to Travis Scott a lot. I think it just gets me in the mood a bit.
Yeah, nice. Gets you going. Nice. Who was your idol growing up? It could be racing driver or non-racing driver.
That's a good question. I never know how to answer this one because I've never really had an idol, let's say. I'd say any racing driver idol or someone I looked up to would probably be Max Verstappen. Obviously, I'm getting to the point where I can almost race him, so I don't want him to be my idol anymore.
Idol turned rival, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal.
Love that. Who was the last person that you were starstruck by when you met them?
Last person I was starstruck by? So when I was in Miami in 2022 for the F1 race, I was walking into the Red Bull garage, and I didn't meet her, but I walked past Serena Williams.
Yeah.
And she was like a machine, man. She was like the strongest person I've ever seen in front of me. Like, it was insane. And she was so tall and so big. It was cool. Yeah.
What's your dream road car?
My dream road car? My dream road car would be a Rolls Royce, probably.
A Rolls Royce. Okay. I didn't know whether you're now contractually obliged to say an Aston Martin. And
no, so they actually asked me a similar question when I was there for the media day, and I also said Rolls Royce, so it was okay.
Okay, fair enough.
They said it was okay to say a non-politically correct answer.
So. Love that. Nice. What's your favourite form of social media? Is it Instagram? Is it TikTok?
Definitely Instagram. I think I scroll through about 1,000 reels per day, and it's very, very addicting. for sure.
People get really hooked on it.
I have it on my bottom list on
Yeah,
my home screen.
love that. And last question: who's your best mate in the paddock? Have you got a best mate? I know obviously it's difficult to differentiate those relationships, but have you got a best mate in the paddock?
Yeah, I'd say it's a close tie between Isaac and Ollie Behrman. So
Both former teammates.
I can't choose one. Former teammates, and we both have our own activities that we do together. So it's it's hard to choose. So.
Yeah, got it. Nice. What's the obviously Ollie he was your teammate at Prema in F3. Is he one of the best drivers you've ever raced against? And who is, in your opinion, the best driver you have raced against?
As a teammate, you mean, or just
both?
One person that always impresses me as, let's say, as a teammate, I think Ollie was in F3, so maybe he had a bit less experience. But I think last year Isaac was really impressive as a teammate. A lot of times, he was just always fast straight away, and there were some times where, I'm sure it happened to both of us, where sometimes we were just confused how one was so fast, like that. And the most impressive kind of things I've seen from someone on the grid is probably from Victor Martin. Sometimes his qualifying laps or the pace he has is out of this world. So that's the goal, is to match or beat him.
Last question from me then is, what does success look like at the end of the season? When you get to the end of 2024, what would be a successful season for Jack Crawford?
I think proving myself at the top in F2, whether it's to be champion or fighting for wins or in the top three, I think that would be a successful season. Making a name for myself and, solidifying myself as a top contender in F2. I think, that's what, Dams want. That's what Aston Martin want. That's what I want. So it's what everybody wants. So it's an agreed thought. So that would be the goal, and I would be satisfied with the season like that.
Jack, thank you very much for sitting down with us, and from all of us here at Inside F2, we wish you all the very best of luck for the season.
Thank you very much.